The head of Miami police in stable condition after being shot.
And Director Ramirez has dedicated nearly 30 years of his life to public service and keeping the citizens of Miami-Dade safe.
After what is reported to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Like something out of a horror film.
So that's why I wanted to see if I could identify anything or anyone that drove by on Friday.
What police found inside a suitcase by the river in Delray Beach. Controversy at the border.
And we will take this lawsuit all the way to the United States Supreme Court.
The Texas governor defies the Department of Justice. And struggling to stay cool.
Feels like an oven.
This heat wave just can't seem to let up. These stories and more coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Hawa Ezel.
I'm Kelly Sanchez. Today is Tuesday, July 25th, 2023.
Live from the Lee Caplin School of Journalism and Media in North Miami, this is Caplin News.
Miami-Dade Police Director Freddie Ramirez is stable after coming out of surgery for self-inflicted gunshot wounds. New details around Freddie Ramirez's injuries are emerging.
Caplin's Kenya Cardone reports on what led to the police director's injuries. She's in the control center this morning.
Kelly Hawa, the Florida Department of Law Enforcement Commissioner, says according to the preliminary investigation, Alfredo Ramirez III, who goes by Freddie, suffered from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. This happened Sunday. The commissioner says Ramirez was involved in a domestic dispute at a JW Marriott hotel in Tampa, where the State Sheriff's Association conference is being held. He says Ramirez then left the hotel and drove on I-75, where he pulled over onto the side of the road and shot himself. He suffered serious head injuries and underwent surgery. Yesterday, the FDLE and Florida Highway Patrol held a brief press conference where they spoke about the details of the incident and Ramirez's dedication and impact in his career.
Law enforcement is a demanding and stressful career and occupation. And Director Ramirez has dedicated nearly 30 years of his life to public service and keeping the citizens of Miami-Dade safe.
The Miami-Dade Police Department released this statement yesterday advising, quote, "The surgery has concluded and Director Ramirez is in stable condition. We thank the community and the extended MDPD family for their prayers and support. Director Ramirez will begin his road to recovery surrounded by his family." Now, the Florida Highway Patrol and Florida Department of Law Enforcement are investigating this incident, but for now, that's the very latest. From the Control Center, I'm Kenya Cardone, Caplin News.
Breaking news this morning, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis involved in a car crash. At the time the governor was working on his presidential campaign, the governor is currently in Chattanooga, Tennessee, attending a campaign fundraiser. A spokesman for DeSantis said no one from his team was injured and they appreciate the well wishes.
Local residents help investigate a murder mystery as WPEC's Luili Ortiz reports bags of body parts are found.
We're all neighbors. We all have to live here, and we want to live in a safe environment, and we have to help each other.
Local realtor Bonita Hero looks through her Ring doorbell application on her phone.
Well, we have our gate right here, and then we just have the local street.
On the left, it's a view of the street just down the road to the Intercoastal, where authorities found suitcases filled with a woman's decomposing remains last Friday evening.
I came out on Sunday morning. They had the divers out front in the Intercoastal in front of our property, and then so that's why I wanted to see if I could identify anything or anyone that drove by on Friday to see if I could help. It's very scary. I mean, people here are a little rocked, knowing that this happened right in our backyard.
These high-tech devices many of us use to keep us safe from the outside world are pointed towards the water on Casarina Road. It's where 2 of the 3 suitcases were discovered. Police were first alerted about this after a construction worker found the first suitcase just 2 miles north in the 100 block of Palm Trail.
Officers and detectives responded and were able to corroborate that it was in fact human remains that were protruding from this particular suitcase.
Hours ago, we heard from police for the first time since the grim discovery. They talked about the work being done in hopes of solving this murder.
Based on the victim's condition, we believe the time frame in which she was put into the water to be between Monday, July 17th and the early morning hours of Thursday, July 20th.
The victim is believed to be somewhere between 35 to 55 years old and either Caucasian or Latin American, roughly 5'4" with brown hair and tattooed eyebrows. She was wearing this floral tank top with a black undershirt and black shorts.
The brand of the floral top is Betsabi, which is unique, we believe, and from what we can tell is a Brazilian company.
Police reminding the community how their help can really go a long way. No information is too small.
I think everybody should have a look and see if something's suspicious or something that maybe somebody saw something and didn't think anything of it, but you go back and you look at the camera and, you know, I think it's a good thing.
That was WPEC's Luili Ortiz. Detectives are waiting on the medical examiner's office to figure out how the woman died.
The Florida judge overseeing the Parkland shooter trial is facing a reprimand by the Florida Supreme Court this morning. The state's high court issuing its decision yesterday. Judge Elizabeth Shearer was publicly reprimanded yesterday for showing bias in favor of the prosecution. The 15-member commission said that Shearer chastised lead public official Melissa McNeil, wrongly accused one of Cruz's lawyers for threatening her child, and improperly embraced members of the prosecution after the trial. The decision was unanimous, and Judge Shearer admitted to violating Florida's Code of Judicial Conduct.
After facing assault accusations, Miami Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill has now resolved his dispute. In June, Hill was accused of striking an employee at Haulover Marina. The same day, he posted video and photos of his fishing outing. As a result, he was under investigation by the Miami-Dade Police Department. Yesterday, his lawyer and the lawyer of the man he allegedly hit released a joint statement to ESPN, where they said the matter was settled. Hill will begin his second training camp with the Miami Dolphins this week.
The dangerous heat wave is not letting up anytime soon, as Caplin's Brian Lopez reports on dozens of heat-related records being broken.
Tens of millions of Americans are struggling to stay cool during this unrelentless heat wave. Already, more than 5,000 heat records have been broken or tied in the U.S. in the last 30 days. Unfortunately, these blazing hot temperatures are expected to continue throughout August. More than 35 million people in the United States were under heat alerts Monday, after more than 35 heat-related records were broken on Sunday alone, according to the National Weather Service.
Feels like an oven.
Las Vegas shattered its record with a temperature of 116 degrees, and Death Valley, California, reached a daily record-breaking 128 degrees.
I don't like the heat, but it's something that you have to deal with living in Arizona.
It's been so hot in parts of Arizona that doctors in Maricopa County are seeing a spike in patients burned by just falling on the ground.
The pavement is so hot that it only takes a fraction of a second to get a pretty deep burn.
Phoenix fire crews were overflowed with phone calls to help people who couldn't escape the heat and the elderly.
Put some of our IVs on ice or cool our IVs so we can cool that internal temperature quicker for those individuals.
The heat wave is set to impact even more Americans this week, from the Midwest to the East Coast. It's even affecting ocean temperatures and threatening coral reefs.
Parts of the Caribbean, like Belize, are already bleaching and bleaching pretty severely, and Florida is where Belize was about a month ago.
With South Florida's abnormally warm waters, it puts some of the corals there at the risk of extinction. Scientists fear that without the coral, Florida could be losing a natural defense system that helps protect the coastlines from waves and flooding during hurricanes. Reporting for Caplin News, I'm Brian Lopez.
Some Florida deputies spent the weekend wrangling unexpected intruders. A series of Facebook posts shows deputies from the Flagler County Sheriff's Office responding to multiple reports of alligators in residential areas. That's near Jacksonville. One post says there was a 5-foot gator in an area where kids frequently play. It also says deputies took care of business until a trapper arrived. In another post, they captured a baby alligator from a resident's driveway and relocated it to a nearby canal.
The Rock makes a historic donation to help screen actors during their strikes.
That's still ahead, and so is this story.
The one person that is sowing chaos is Governor Abbott. That's what he continues to do, political stunts in an inhumane way.
Texas's governor is making trouble on the border as Justice Department looks for a fight. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
See us dream. See us remember. See us protest.
You matter. Your feelings matter. Your identity matters. Everything about who you are matters.
See us fight back. See us rebuild. See us shatter stereotypes. See us inspire. See us united. See us now.
There are 16 million children struggling with hunger in America. That's 1 in 5 daughters, sons, neighbors, and classmates who don't know where their next meal is coming from. Yet billions of pounds of good food go to waste every year. It's time we do something about it. Feeding America is a nationwide network of food banks that helps provide meals to millions of kids and families in need. Visit feedingamerica.org to help them feed even more. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America.
Texas's governor is trying to secure the border in some odd ways, and the Justice Department is fighting back. A battle between Governor Abbott and the Justice Department might be headed to court.
As CNN's John Loring reports on the drastic measures taken by Texas to secure the southern border.
The Lone Star State is ready to rumble with the Justice Department over border security.
And we will take this lawsuit all the way to the United States Supreme Court.
On Monday, the DOJ filed a federal lawsuit against Texas regarding the floating barriers being used in the Rio Grande River.
I support the buoys because they are a deterrent in preventing people from entering the country illegally, but we have to be compassionate in how we handle anyone. I don't care who they are.
The DOJ alleges Republican Texas Governor Greg Abbott violated the Rivers and Harbors Appropriation Act by building the barriers without getting permission from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
The only person, the one person that is sowing chaos is Governor Abbott. That's what he continues to do, political stunts in an inhumane way.
Abbott, who has already rejected a DOJ request to remove the barriers, isn't showing signs of backing down. In a letter to President Joe Biden, Abbott wrote, quote, "Texas will see you in court, Mr. President."
He's literally operating in bad faith. That's what this governor is doing. While we're trying to fix and deal with an issue, a broken system, an immigration system that has broken for decades, and he's undermining it.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
In the midst of the Hollywood strike, one of the best paid actors is stepping up to show solidarity. Dwayne Johnson has donated the largest amount ever given to SAG-AFTRA's foundation. The foundation supports actors when they aren't earning income, like now due to the strike. The foundation isn't saying how much The Rock donated, but it's more than $1 million and is said to be enough to help thousands of actors keep food on the table. You're watching Newsbreak, and we are coming right back.
Severe weather can strike anytime, anywhere, but there's a simple way to stay safe. Hey, Jim Cantore here. I stay safe in dangerous weather by planning ahead. You can stay safe too with a few easy steps. Build an inexpensive kit with supplies for your family's needs. Write down important information like phone numbers and medications. Always talk with your family and remember any pets in your planning. Be ready, be safe. Start your plan today at ready.gov/plan.
I don't know why you're so sad. You've got a roof over your head.
You gotta stop with that depressing stuff. That's what white people think. You all right?
It just feels like it's coming from everywhere.
Do you want to talk about it?
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
If you're buzzed and doing this, to make yourself feel okay to drive,
ZWX.
You're not okay to drive.
YGKLVW. Regular you.
That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Kelly Sanchez.
I'm Halwa Ezel. Get more news anytime at caplinnews.fiu.edu.